Neil. Hi everyone, my name is Ash. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really sorry to be back on such a somber note, but I think we need to discuss the Neil Gaiman sized elephant in the room. And this one is really gonna hurt. I love Neil's work. I love it, okay? I mean, Coraline, Stardust, Neverwhere, these are some of the stories that shaped my entire personality and made me the fantasy reader I am today. Luckily, I did not follow through with that Stardust inspired tattoo sleeve I was going to get, mostly because I didn't have the funds at the time. And instead, I got a very tiny Harry Potter tattoo. And we all know how JK turned out. But that one, I at least feel is small enough. I can get away with it. A lot of people don't even know it's associated with Harry Potter because it's the stars from the chapters of the book. But here's to say that even your literary heroes are not safe from being terrible people. But Vulture recently reported that, and I quote, reports have surfaced of allegations of author Neil Gaiman engaging in sexual assault and abusive behavior towards multiple women, including fans and individuals employed by him and his wife. These allegations describe a pattern of coercion and non-consensual acts, often under the disguise of consensual BDSM relationships. Yikes. Big yikes. I mean, one accuser, her name is Scarlett Pavlovich, a former nanny of Gaiman and Amanda Palmer's child, claims that Gaiman sexually assaulted her during her employment. Pavlovich alleged that Palmer was initially supportive about learning of the abuse, but later withdrew her support. And in response to these allegations, Gaiman denied any non-consensual sexual activities, stating that he believed all interactions were consensual. He acknowledged that he could have done so much better and is trying to do the work needed, whatever the fuck that means. And I feel like that's a classic line every narcissistic abuser uses, and they just do that as a scapegoat, the therapy language to get out of whatever misdeeds they've done. They think that's enough, and it's not. And what's weird is his fans and his peers in the industry have been mute. I mean, Disney ended up dropping a project of his, and there's a hold on one other project by Amazon. But outside of that, I haven't really seen any backlash or repercussions. Maybe a few discussions on Reddit, but they aren't really siding with the victims here. Like, is Neil that well connected and that powerful that people are afraid to speak out against him? I mean, I know we all hate her, and we do. J.K. Rowling, say what you will about her, and we all know she is a TERF, of course, but a broken clock can be right twice a day, and she happens to be right on this particular day. She spoke out publicly on her platform about him, and I can't believe she is the person to do so. She said, the literary crowd that has had hell of a lot to say about Harvey Weinstein before he was convicted had been strangely muted in its response to multiple accusations against Neil Gaiman from young women who had never met, yet, as with Weinstein, tell remarkably similar stories. Oh boy, that was a tongue twister. She's very wordy these days. As I've mentioned, he's faced very little backlash to his career. Disney has paused production on the film adaptation of The Graveyard Book, and Amazon has halted production on the third season of Good Omens. And both companies have cited that the allegations are contributing factors to their holds. As far as I know, Netflix has decided to move forward or continue production on Sandman 2 and Anansi Boys. Probably they're too far in the process and can't revert back now. And they're like, well, we're just going to cut it up as a loss. If people don't watch it, they don't watch it. And I'm guessing that's what they're thinking. So it turns out that part in Sandman, when Calliope was being sexually assaulted by a writer in order to produce ideas for his books, was a bit of a self-insert. Let that sink in. The Vulture article went on to say that Amanda Palmer, Gaiman's estranged wife, has expressed being profoundly disturbed by the allegations.
You knew. You fucking knew!
She has emphasized concern for her son's well-being and refrained from commenting further to protect his privacy. And again, that is another staple. People that enable abusers, that's what they say. They fall back on their children and saying they're just trying to be good mothers. They're just trying to protect their children. And that may very well be so, but you are also causing more harm. And you cannot use that excuse as a scapegoat, so you can't get criticism. And listen, Amanda Palmer, we go way back, okay? Like, let's talk about her because she's trash too. Amanda Palmer was one of my favorite artists for a very long time. Miss Me, Coin Operated Boy. Like, I used to dress up as a coin operated girl for Halloween. Like, I used to love her. I thought she was this feminist icon. Like, I was a fan. But as soon as I learned she was trashed, I stopped liking her. And I should have side eyed Neil for being married to her for so long. But as they say, birds of a feather. I don't know why I wasn't using my critical thinking skills when it came to those two, but obviously they're both trash. So it makes sense. Amanda has been accused in the past. I mean, this is back in the Tumblr days when I used to be heavily in that space. She's been accused of taking advantage of young musicians and ruining their careers. She's made some jokes that have been considered racist, ableist, insensitive, all around insensitive. And she even wrote a poem from the perspective of the Boston Marathon bomber. I don't know why she thought the world needed to hear that, but she did, and it's weird. I mean, the list goes on. And the fact that she is a fantastic, thoughtful musician when it comes to putting out messages, I personally think doesn't mean it's some kind of loophole, get out of jail free card because she's weird and quirky. Like, no. And I don't know why I have infantilized Neil all these years, giving him some kind of pass every time she's done something crazy or I learn about their personal lives in the media. I mean, I should have known that he's making her crazier than she already is. And Amanda has allegedly written a song about her and Neil's rocky relationship called Wakanua, where you can look up the lyrics yourself. It's very extensive and kind of damning. But one of the lines reads, "And now the whole thing's turned to ash. You try to cover it up with cash." So infer from that what you will. It's just, man, can't have anything nice when it comes to fantasy readers. I swear. Every time I fall in love with an author or even a newer author, we don't even have to use the Neil example as an old one. Just look at the more recent ones. It's just like something happens within 6 months and their problematic past comes out and they've done something racist, they've done something sexist, they said something ableist, they done something xenophobic. It's like I can't have anything nice. And Neil, especially, it just really hurts. And I know a lot of people are in the same position as me because his work means so much to them. And I feel for you. I really do. This is just as hard as the J.K. Rowling situation when I first learned about her being a TERF and being such a huge Potterhead, you know? It's like their stories are just so entrenched in my childhood, within a lot of our childhoods, and had a big impact on our development and our interest, and the fact that it's now ruined for a lot of us, and that's really unfortunate. I mean, I will not be buying or supporting financially any more of Neil's works. I will not be watching any of his projects. I mean, I will just take the books I have of his and keep them as a good memory. But moving forward, I just cannot stand behind him or suggest his work to people, which is sad. Because he's talented. He is so talented. He has the kind of talent that makes you jealous and just wishes you were him just for a day to see what's running through his brain, you know? But just because he's talented doesn't mean he's a good man. He's a bad man. My thoughts right now are only with his victims and his friends and family who may be finding out for the first time who he truly is, because he's hidden who he is this long from us. I can only imagine how much closer everything to the chest he's held against his close friends, his close family. They probably have no idea. And this is rocking their world, which is, I guess, why a lot of people have not spoken out publicly. Finding out and discovering the truth of someone you considered to be a friend and feeling so betrayed, I understand that he's probably not the person you thought he was. And I'm sorry that I'm ending this video on a very sad and bitter note, but I had to talk about this because I've seen very few think pieces on it. Maybe because people are still gathering their thoughts, or maybe they're afraid to say something because they are in the industry and he has a lot of connections and can ruin them. I get it. But But yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you found value in this video. I would love to do more bookish community discourse videos, but I typically tend to not comment on things that are happening in the community, any drama. But this one was big enough. It transcends that. It's beyond drama. It's something that is important and a lot of people need to hear. And I don't know, but I want to do more chats like this. This is off the cuff. This isn't going to be my normal content. But yeah, hope to see you next time. Okay, bye.